Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Rebecca. I'm an intuitive life coach, psychic medium, and energy worker. I am posting the May 2022 energies for the month. I will go over the energy themes for the entire month, and then I will break down each week with the energies and what you can expect in areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. This is a reading for everyone. This is a generalized reading. I do offer this as a monthly service. If you sign up to do the subscription, I charge $68. It's very personalized. Each month you can ask me specific questions about information that you want to know, and I will go over the energies that will be a part of your life, the things that you can expect, and break it down week by week. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up. I charge 68 bucks a month. It's you can cancel at any point in time that you want. And if you're interested in that, the link will be down below in the description box. If not, then you can support me in a free way by liking and commenting. I value your feedback. I want to know what your experiences are throughout the month. So please come back if anything resonates or anything pops up in your life. I would love to hear about it. If there's anything that you want me to talk about or questions that some of you might have in regards to what's happening, big picture wise in the world, please put the comments, like, share, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. I value all of you. So I'm going to cut this short. We'll get right into the messages. I will not, for those of you that just want to listen, this is a voice. I'm just doing a voice message with some visuals, but I won't be on screen. This is the only time you'll see me on screen, so that you can just listen and you don't have to pay attention to me. I hope that everybody's having a great month so far, and I look forward to connecting with you all in the future. If you're interested in a reading, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on my channel, and I look forward to connecting with all of you. Have a great month ahead. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey everyone, let's jump right into the energies of May 2022. I'm going to start off with giving you the overall energy themes for the month and the things that I feel will be happening and things that you may be dealing with. I like to start off with different decks that I have of oracle cards and energy cards and tarot cards. And what I like to do is read the actual descriptions out of the book that were created by the creator of the cards and the creator of the oracle cards, because I do feel like there's a lot of valuable information there and will apply to different groups of people. But I also will then give you the intuitive messages that I receive that are connected to the cards. And once we go through the energy themes of the month, then I'll go into breaking down each week based off of my own intuitive impressions, messages that I'm receiving from spirit of what will happen, that you could possibly be dealing with through each individual week. And I'll break that down into general energies and then work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. Okay, let's get started with the first deck, which is a deck called the Cards of On. And the very first card that came up for the month of May is the well. And the well is a source of deep nourishment. It is also a symbol of the hidden resources within our beings, which haven't yet been developed or utilized. You may have the purest of water in the depths of your well, but you can die of thirst if you don't bring it up to the surface. It's now time to reach down into your depths and pull something up to the surface, or it may indicate that it's time to nourish yourself or others. I do feel this card very much applies for the month of May. I feel like the energies of May are the first month of really kind of picking things back up in more of an intense way. Obviously, we had, the pandemic that started in 2020 and it ran through now, and we're all sort of receiving a little bit of a break from that energy. But I do feel like it's it's re-upping at this point, this type of energy, and we're going to start seeing more of a breakdown in different ways and more challenges headed our way through just financial collapse. I do feel like, food chain supply issues. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening between now and 2024 that I feel this well card is basically, we're in training, right? So the line where it talked about you may have the purest of water in the depths of your well, but you can die of thirst if you don't bring it up to the surface. I feel like this applies in learning how to utilize skills that we have in a new and innovative way. So, all of us have kind of gotten used to being able to, buy groceries that are in boxes and use microwaves and all these things, where I feel like we need to tap into learning how to grow our own food and learning how to have better emotional coping mechanisms, recognizing our triggers and our patterns of behavior. So a lot of people are continuing to go through a dark night of the soul. And I feel like this well card is very much about pulling something up to the surface with talents, gifts, abilities, ideas, innovation, connecting with community in order to nourish yourself, nourish others, self-care, self-love. There's just a lot of energy here where we are really needing to learn how to take care of ourselves and then be able to help take care of others. And I do feel like this is the first month of those energies really becoming heightened. And we also have eclipse energy this month. So there's going to be a lot of things coming up from your subconscious and from your internal world in order to show you what work you need to do on yourself in order to transform these things and to move into deeper states of higher vibrations and frequencies of love. The next card that came up was a wild card, and the wild card emanates from the ultra greater reality. When you draw a wild card, expect the unexpected. The unexpected always arrives out of the blue as a surprise. It comes from realms that we were previously unaware of and brings us something totally new. Wild cards are insertion points of the ultra greater reality into the present moment. So again, I feel like this is piggybacking on the well card, where there's things coming up, traumas from the past, bringing awareness to fears, insecurities, self-sabotaging behavior. I also feel like this wild card and surprises out of the blue are on the positive spectrum as well. I feel like you'll have aha moments where you're putting two and two together and there's pleasant surprises. I feel like some of you are going to, get that job that you've been waiting for and that you applied for, and it's basically like a dream come true type gig. I feel like financial situations are shifting for the better. I feel like some of you are going to be calling in that love connection in that relationship. Some of you are healing with family members and reuniting and reconnecting. So there's a lot of positive energy with this wild card. And on the grand picture, if we apply it to the governments of the world and the powers to be, I just see we're going to be having more drama. We already, the last couple of days, we've seen NASDAQ drop, stocks are dropping. We've seen another increase in the interest rate. This is just the beginning of that. So again, like for me, my timeline with the financial situation potentially collapsing and seeing something like 2008 or maybe even worse is going to happen between now and 2024. And I feel like the wild card applies to just, again, upheaval. The powers to be to knock us off our stride. But this is where you tap into that well, that deep well within you, and you're putting your energy into your immediate environment, your current situation. You're focusing on solutions. You're not focusing on the problems. You're learning how to unplug from the matrix. And the way you do that is through using a mirroring technique. The universe, this reality is always showing you what you need to work on in order to unplug from that system of what we've kind of all been in an enslaved society, whether we want to believe it or not. And I think we're going to see more and more of those truths being revealed. So more and more truth is coming out in order for people to wake up and realize how disempowered some of us actually are. The next card that came up is To the Core. And this card, from a duality perspective, is it's time to strip away all disguises, distractions, and distortions and get down to the core of the matter, or to the core of your own self. Disassemble your being, take everything apart, let it be messy and uninformed for a while until the new central core becomes visible. I do feel this applies through those of us that are going through the dark night of the soul, going through the beginning stages of spiritual awakening, where you're recognizing where you haven't been yourself, and maybe you've had a fear of judgment and people, worried about what other people think. And maybe you've been distracted and chasing material items or chasing unavailable people, seeking validation outside of yourself. And maybe the distortions is, you're looking at, say, for example, the government as, oh, they're, on our side and they're going to take care of us and they're going to help us. Meanwhile, they're destroying us. So there's a lot of energy around truth being revealed and getting to the core of yourself and realizing who you are and how powerful that actually is, and working through the shadow side of the mind, because the mind is where the first part of the work begins, is really understanding your thought patterns and how your thought patterns create your emotion and how the emotion then creates the action. And when those three things are out of alignment, you're constantly going to be attracting things to you that you don't actually want. So a lot of layers being stripped that no longer serve us are going to be coming up. And then from the oneness perspective, you are stripped to the core, making you feel raw, vulnerable, and very real. Or the core of a situation or a relationship has been revealed. You've reached the heart of the matter. Those of us that have been on the spiritual path for a very long time, and when I say spiritual path, I'm talking about not the new age movement that's focused on, say positive affirmations and positive things will happen. Yes, those things help, but if you're not dealing with your bullshit, then you're not ever going to really attract those positive situations to yourself. It's really about digging deep and recognizing and taking responsibility for your choices, your actions, recognizing what you're projecting out into the world. So those of us that have been working on this, you are, I feel, getting closer to the core and you've worked through a lot of these layers and you are feeling raw, you are feeling vulnerable this month, but at the same time, it's attracting a lot of these beautiful, unexpected things into your reality. And I do feel some of you will have some um, realizations around your romantic relationships, how either it's time to move on, or some of you have really been doing the work within your romantic relationships and you are thriving and no longer just surviving. And, you're getting down to the bottom of things. I feel like there's many of you out there seeking the truth around different areas of your life. And this month, those truths will come to the surface and be recognized. And if you've been doing the work, you'll be able to handle it with grace and you'll see the challenges as a catalyst to growth and you'll be focused on solutions. And those of you that are still kind of going through the dark night of the soul, those challenges could be a little more intense for you because you're having to learn how to cope and handle things and shift your perception in a new way so that you can get through these things much easier going forward. The last card out of this deck is the Celestial Barge. And the Celestial Barge says, when we travel on the Celestial Barge, we are plunged into a deep stillness. At the same time, we are moving rapidly through the celestial seas. This signifies a profound quickening of your development as you are propelled into realms of deeper trueness. Like I was saying, this month I feel like there's a ramping up of some intense energies and in many ways, we're going to be feeling like we're being squeezed by a vice to kind of pull these things up and out of us. And that is causing this quickening. You're going to be working through things a lot quicker. I mean, that's the positive about these energies right now. And the new people that are, awakening and seeing the truth of this reality, understanding and looking at their shadow self and working through becoming self-realized and working on themselves to empower themselves. This back when we were doing it, like it took forever. And now things with these energies so intense, I feel like people are moving through things exponentially quicker than maybe some of us did in the past. Now, what's awesome about this energy too is you're going to have more beautiful experiences, maybe your own clairvoyant experiences, lots of synchronicities through animals and numbers and dream state. I just feel so many more people having experiences that really awaken them and propel you forward to continue this path. It's not an easy path to walk on. It's not. Like having to strip down and figure out your own crap and realize all of your choices are creating your experiences. It takes a strong person to accept that. And the other part of this is I do feel like throughout the month, even though there's some very intense energies bringing up a lot of emotional content and a lot of things from the past to be healed, I do feel like there will be moments of stillness. There will be time where you're out in nature and you're just sitting and enjoying peace. Or maybe there's moments you're at home and you're able to sit in silence and you're just feeling content and feeling at peace within yourself. Maybe you're at the beach enjoying the sound of the ocean and the sand between your toes. So there's going to be a lot of beautiful moments where the universe is kind of giving us a little bit of a break in between some of these more intense energies. Okay, moving on to the Angel and Ancestors Oracle card. The energy for this month is the Eagle. See from a higher perspective. Look at things from a different angle, fly higher and see new possibilities. In animal medicine, both Native American and Celtic, the eagle draws his power and strength from the sun. He is a powerful, strong, and courageous guide who is able to see for miles. He approaches all things with intelligence, grace, and poise, and has the capacity to make a plan from a higher space before putting it into action. When the Eagle card appears in a reading, it shows that you have a real ability to take things higher and to move beyond the limitations of your ego and your selfish desires. Eagle medicine swirls around you, encouraging you to recognize that your views or vision may be limited at this time. Is there a chance that your own desperation, needs, or ego could be blocking you from seeing the potential in your current situation? If there are other people involved, you are being guided to see things from everyone's perspective. If you are feeling the need for something to change, how can you take the higher road? Know that if you have intentions that aren't for the highest good, it will only hold you back. Eagle medicine can help you change this. The eagle brings the energy of healing and love directly from the heart of Father Sky and invites you to do all things from a place of love. So again, this kind of energy is playing on all the other cards that came up before with the energies for this month. And it's really about, we're all learning to shift our perspective and see things from a new point of view. And unfortunately, sometimes we can get fixated on the problem and what's going wrong and what's not going right, and that we don't have enough money, and that we don't have that relationship we've been looking for, and we don't have the house, we don't have family that love us, we don't have friends that love us, and we can get really fixated on everything that is going wrong. And this month, the energies are primed for you to tap into that higher perspective. And again, focus on solutions, focus on what you do have, focus on what it is that you're wanting to create in your life, and take action steps in those directions. It's the only way that you can pull yourself out of the funk and pull yourself out of any stagnation that you've been experiencing, is really digging deep and looking at things from a new perspective. Some of you, I feel, have been, I just feel like some of you have been fighting with other people, or just constantly bickering, or not getting along with others, and not being able to recognize that sometimes it's easier to get through conflict when you can apply understanding and compassion towards the other person. Shift that perspective. Look at what it would be like to be in that person's life. You have no idea what's going on. You have no idea where they came from, just like they have no idea where you came from. So it's always important to seek to understand first what's happening and why. Ask questions if you need clarity, instead of having an emotional reaction to what's going on. Most often we are triggering one another, our baggages from our childhood traumas. If you were, if you grew up with a mother or father that was overly critical, more than likely you believe that to be true, that you're not good enough, right? So you've been criticized your entire life, so you're constantly feeling like you're not good enough. And then what do? Here comes people into your life that are criticizing you and constantly making you not feel good enough. And what happens is then you get triggered by that, and you emotionally react and attack the person that's making you feel this way. But at the same time, the person that's projecting that onto you also probably dealt with a hypercritical parent. And what they did is followed the footsteps of that parent instead of changing who they are, and learning how to communicate in a new way. So this is where seeking to understand, digging a little bit deeper, and not taking things personally, working through your past traumas. So again, this is all about a shift in perception that needs to happen. And there's a shift that needs to happen with looking at society, the political realm, our health, the health insurance world, the pharmaceutical industry, like all these industries that are constantly gaslighting and projecting things onto us, and really taking a bigger, using critical thinking skills and looking at things from a higher perspective. So all of that energy is at play this month, and you're going to be tapping into that more and more, and really doing a lot of growing this month. And, in order for you to grow, unfortunately, things have to get triggered inside of you, especially if you're not listening to your own intuition and recognizing what's going on with yourself. Then the universe is going to send it your way and create some sort of a challenge in order for you to recognize that you keep attracting the same thing into your life over and over again because you haven't dealt with your past trauma. You're also projecting it out. So lots of different energies here to help you look at things from a higher perspective. Your Moonology Oracle card for the month is the South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. And, when you let your past hold you back, when you're focused on the past in the present, you're recreating it for the future. So this month is a huge opportunity for you to work through the past, work through the old traumas, the healing. All right, so let's see what this card says. The South Node, like the North Node, is a karmic point, but it's opposite to the North Node and relates to the past, perhaps even to past lives. Whatever you're going through and whatever you're asking about, there's a chance that age-old programming and conditioning is stopping you from achieving all that you might. Do you feel stuck in something? This card will often come as a sign that the situation or relationship you're asking about has somehow become suffocating, even toxic. It suggests that someone, you even, needs to be released, and there's some kind of addiction going on or an unhealthy attachment that needs to be sorted out. One thing is for sure, when you get this card, you're being challenged to make some changes, even if staying where you are feels easier and safer. Attuned to the moon, I release the past. Additional meanings for this card: a relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. Your attraction to someone may be verging on the obsessive. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. The teaching: the South Node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic going south. On the horoscope chart, it shows us that we are likely to become obsessed with, but which will probably do us little or no good. The South Node is the karmic astrological point that reminds us of the well-known phrase, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And again, this month is a catalyzing month, so I feel like many have been stuck in this pattern of, maybe you've been feeling kind of unmotivated and lethargic and just not having low energy and not feeling passionate or excited about anything and wanting to take action steps forward. And maybe some traumas from the past have been coming up, and you're having a hard time maybe recognizing that or dealing with it. So I do feel some have picked up some different addictions, whether it's cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, food, self-isolating, or just shutting down. And I don't know, I just feel like everybody's kind of been a little bit stuck. And this month is, I feel, kind of the last of that, where you can start to move forward. I mean, this month we also have Mercury retrograde happening, so it's going to be another time period of reflection, and it will take us into the past where we can see where we need to forgive and heal and be able to move forward. I also feel like there is a lot of karmic energy here, but playing out in the way where some of you, I feel like, are putting two and two together, where you recognize what you're putting out is what you're getting back. And maybe you didn't notice that before. And that's where that higher perspective thing comes in, where I feel like some of you are noticing that, like, oh, dang, yeah. So I literally said that to this other person the other day and I felt bad about it. And now it's coming back on me in this different way. Or how your actions are directly affecting you and others. So I do feel like it's karmic in that way. I also feel like this is applying to toxic relationships. I feel like some of you are so worried about hurting the other person, but meanwhile, they're consistently hurting you through their behavior and their language. And I just feel like there's a few of you that are in relationships with really narcissistic people, and it's time where I feel like, again, maybe this higher perspective energy and things from the past, putting two and two together, like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally dating one of my parents. I just feel like those things are going to be coming up for some of you, really a lot of these aha moments. And also the obsessive thing. I feel like some of you are obsessed with maybe somebody new you're dating, or obsessed with like, I've got to, be at the gym every day at this time. And so I feel like there's different obsessions that are happening where you're pushing yourself too hard, and it's actually causing the opposite, where you need to find a little bit more balance in those things. And then also with the obsessive and the past, I feel like it's connected to patterns of behavior. Some of you, I feel, will begin to recognize kind of how this phrase said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I feel like many are going to really recognize that this month. And I feel like that's coming down by you recognizing it in someone else and then going, oh my God, I literally do the same thing. Like I need to just shift that. So yeah, I think there's a lot of beautiful energies that are happening here, and a lot of shifting that's going to be happening. Okay. Your Sacred Light Oracle card. This is a deck for ascension cards for the spiritual seeker. I really like this deck. The card that came up for you guys is Temple of Mary, which is connected to emotional expression, playful innocence, and exploitation. An organ of deep knowledge and wisdom, your heart links your consciousness and soul as one being. Receiving this divine love can be an intense and heart-awakening experience. This divine expansion communicates these interactions via your heart's feeling. Its emotional expression is essential to give and receive love fully. The Temple of Mary is guarded fiercely. Those that choose to enter must be ready to free their heart from love restrictions. With humility and grace, the Divine Mother can help you identify any wounds connected to mother figures with loving support. She inspires your soul to love deeper and to surrender to the innocence of your inner child. Reciting on the fifth ray of healing, the Divine Mother, Mary, assists the children of earth to evolve their heart, to free individuals from emotional pain and burden. If unconditional love wasn't given to you as a child, it may be difficult to accept who you are and others without conditions. Left unhealed, these wounds affect future relationships and acceptance of love, leaving your generous heart open to exploitation. Divine Mother Mary asks you to be receptive in expanding into new levels of love. Get the tissues ready. Goodbyes will seem to last forever, and empathetic connections will bring newfound friends. Long-distance travel, relationship issues, and natural life transitions will also influence friendships and relationships. Your heart is heavy. Love and be loved. Be at peace, child, which is a message from Ascension Master Divine Mother Mary. A sacred crystal that you can use this month with this energy is the Morganite. An affirmation that you can use: I release my personal prejudice. I accept others the way I accept myself. Unconditional love. So many of us want it, and so many of us place conditions on ourselves and on other people. Again, because everything this month is a combination of shadow work and beautiful manifestations of shadow work that's being done, I do feel like this is tied to emotional baggage connected to our moms. How fitting. It's Mother's Day this Sunday coming up. And I do feel like there's a lot of energy around healing with that. And, really taking a deeper look at, are you giving unconditional love? Are you putting conditions on the people in your life? Again, I feel like this is going to show us where we're in toxic relationships, where we are in unhealthy relationships, where we may be holding on to hurt from our moms, more than likely other people, not just our mom, but where maybe the things that came up, that we grew up with in the past, we are actually following in those footsteps, and not recognizing how we are doing that. Maybe we think we're behaving differently, but at the same time, in our subconscious, again, I'll use the hypercriticism type thing. Maybe mom was overly critical. Now you're overly critical of people, or you're so fearful of being criticized that place conditions on yourself, you overanalyze, you're afraid to put yourself out there because you have fear of judgment. So it can show up and manifest in many different ways. And I think all of this is coming up. I do feel travel for many of you. I also am just seeing the ebb and flow of people coming and going in our lives, and making sure that you look at that from the higher perspective. When doors close, it's because new ones need to open, and they can't open if the old doors are still open. And it's the same thing with people in our lives. Sometimes people need to cycle out of our lives because we've learned everything that we need to learn from them, or they've learned everything they need to learn from us. And now we need some new people to come in to help us grow and evolve and help us level up and increase our vibration. And sometimes, that can also show up in, maybe you're not learning from certain people in your life. So now you need to attract someone who is, if we go along the lines of you holding on to things tied to a fear of criticism. So now maybe you end up attracting someone in your life that is extremely toxic with the criticism and hypercritical of you and everybody else. And that person needs to come in so that you can really see what is happening. And sometimes it has to happen on the extreme. Now, if you've worked through the criticism thing and you no longer take things personal, and you're doing the best that you can in any given moment, or you're able to take constructive criticism and say, oh yeah, you know what, that makes sense. You're right. I could probably put myself out there a little bit more in this way. Well, now you no longer need that critical person in your life because you're accepting of it. You've worked through it. And now you're going to attract a clearer reflection of yourself and someone who's going to mirror other aspects of you. So you no longer need that lesson into your life. And if you can look at everything from that higher perspective, it just makes it so much easier to navigate life as a whole. So great card. All right, last energy theme card is the animal spirit. And the animal spirit energy for the month is the earthworm. And the earthworm is shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision. We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. This card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. When you're in balance with this energy, you'll be feeling earnest, intelligent, and valuable. When you're out of balance, you'll feel self-conscious and apprehensive. And to bring yourself back into balance, speak up and risk embarrassment. And a great exercise that you can do, we all have insecurities. Sometimes we all feel inadequate. Some of us don't like public speaking, or having to share our ideas because we are worried about being judged or criticized. And, a great exercise that you can do with that is just call it out yourself. If you have to give a presentation and you're feeling nervous as heck, just before you start your presentation, say, all right, everybody, like, I'm going to give you a presentation. I am feeling a little nervous about this, so I apologize in advance if I screw up any language or verbiage or stumble over my words. Boom, done. It's out there, and now you can get through it, and you don't have to worry about it, and you just took your power back, and you can move forward successfully. And being a novice and newbie, like I said here, a lot of times you will have more innovative and fresh ideas and have out of the box thinking. Sometimes, those of us that have been doing things for a very long time or are extremely successful in our careers, we can get stuck in the way that we've always done things and maybe not, have a limited perspective on things. So really just embrace and love yourself. And, if you do at any point feel self-conscious, just call it out and just know that most people are feeling the exact same way. So 9 times out of 10, people aren't paying attention to you in the way that you think that they are because they're so wrapped up in their own heads, criticizing themselves and judging themselves that they don't have time to judge you. And if they are judging you, you know what? They're just judging themselves and they're projecting their insecurities out onto you. So feel confident in that. Okay. 2 other little fun cards. These are Rebel Deck cards. I like them because they're a little dirty. They're sassy. Your personal Rebel Deck card for the month says, what the hell are you waiting for? Get that shit done. If you are waiting for a sign, well, here it fucking is. So boom, take it for exactly what it is. Your couples Rebel Deck card says, one of you is doing too many fucking chores. That person better get laid now. Okay, I like where this card is going with that, but I would like to add to that. If you are the one that's doing all the chores, stop over functioning in your relationship, bring it up to your partner and share that maybe you're feeling overwhelmed and you need a little assistance and that you would like to maybe divvy up some chores in some different ways. Speak up. Okay. All right, let's get into the weeks. And I'll break everything down based on kind of general energy that's at play, then areas of work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. Week 1, May 1st through the 8th. Okay, this week, like the energy here, some of you are going to be dealing with maybe some level of boredom. Maybe you're also in a little bit of self-sabotaging mode. So it is also Mother's Day in the US here for some of us. So you could end up feeling triggered and maybe you want to shake things up and you want to create a little bit of excitement. There's also that obsessive energy. And so you could be impulsive in some ways. You just may end up going and blowing money that you don't need or saying and doing something that you don't really mean. You could just be bored. You could just be in a mood, in a funk. So you just kind of want to stir some shit up and create some drama. So some of you could be the one doing that. Others could be on the receiving end of this. For some of you, it could just play out that you're feeling bored. You don't really know what to do with yourself. So you're just kind of sitting at home, binge watching TV, right? Now, at the same time, there's a lot of supportive energy here where if you tap into that energy, you will have a lot of focus. I feel like if you are one of the people that may be having some of this drama energy projected onto you, you will have the strength to finally speak up and set a boundary in a healthy way. And there's a lot of energy around effort and accomplishing tasks and kind of getting things done. And I think that the only way this will impact people negatively is if you're not putting in effort and you're just kind of, being lazy and you're not actively participating in your life. It could just kind of have you falling flat on your face in different ways. In the area of work, I feel like some of you are dealing with way more work than you can realistically do. I just feel, some of you have a heavy workload. Some of you are just juggling so many different things in different areas of your life. So you're feeling very overwhelmed. I do feel like some of you have the perception that there's just not enough time in the day, but there is enough time in the day. And because your perspective is that, you're constantly experiencing overwhelm and like there's not enough time in the day to get something accomplished. So that's where this energy for the month comes in to help you see things from a higher perspective and shift that way of thinking. It's helping you shift that obsessive thought pattern. It's helping you shift the way that you view your life and your working life. For the most part, I feel like work is going well. Just that kind of energy. Some of you will be, like I said, feeling overwhelmed. Some of you are just bored at work and it's unexciting and you're just doing your thing, going in, doing what you got to do. And you're getting your stuff done and you're getting things accomplished. Some of you are finding your voice here. I feel like some of you have been dealing with this overwhelm and this busy and like everything getting dumped on you because there's just a lack of support at your job. So maybe there's not enough people employed there, or the company's having some financial situations. So they're basically limiting new hires and everything is constantly getting dumped on you, where I feel like you're finding your voice and you're speaking up and you're saying, hey, I need some help, or, hey, I'm not going to be able to get this done. I need to prioritize deadlines and what needs to happen. And you're able to speak up in a very professional manner and get that help that you need. You'll see that being provided to you. Love, those of you in committed relationships, I kind of feel like some of this boredom energy here, like it just feels a little stagnant. You guys have been in the same routine. Maybe it's just like work, come home, eat dinner, veg out on the couch. You're not really talking. You're not really doing anything. Maybe there's a lack of, sexy time or even just deeper discussions and that type of intimacy. So I feel like, if you're tapping into these energy themes for the month, you can create a lot of positive change here, but you have to be honest with yourself first about what you're feeling and what you're witnessing in your relationship, and not be afraid to bring it up and bring it to your partner's attention. And if you do feel uncomfortable talking about it, I kind of see some of you just like whipping it up in a new way, right? Like maybe it's just like, hey babe, there's this awesome concert happening Friday night. Let's go. Or, hey, there's a new restaurant opening. I want to go there. Or, hey, I want to go to the beach. Let's do the beach thing. And maybe you're just not, talking about it with your partner. You're just taking action and making things happen instead of waiting on your partner to do it. So I think, to me, it feels like there's a beautiful shift here happening for those of you in the relationship. Those of you that refuse to do the work, well, nothing's going to change and you're just going to feel like your relationship is shit and you're not really happy, your partner's not really happy, and you're just going to continue to avoid each other. If you are single and out there dating, I feel like some of you are stuck in the cycle of thought pattern, like, I just can't meet someone. I keep meeting, people that aren't right for me. And I feel like this has a lot to do with your thought patterns, your belief systems. You really need to take a deeper look at yourself. What you focus on grows. So if you're constantly telling yourself you're not meeting anybody new, everybody you meet sucks, well, you need to look at that because that's where you're putting your energy. So that's what's going to happen. Really take a look at where your insecurities are. You may think that you're ready for a relationship, but really you have a fear around relationships, whether it's abandonment issues, insecurities, fear of being cheated on. These are things that I feel like you need to look at. Some of you are still attached to an ex. You're holding out hope that you're going to get back together, or you're just wallowing in the pain of the breakup or what this person did to you. And you really need to dig deep and see what you need to let go of before you can expect to be able to move forward and have someone come into your life. Let's see. In the area of finances, I feel abundance here, and I feel it's directly tied to hard work. So if you're out there busting your ass and you're doing what you need to do to generate income, whether it's a side hustle and your job or whatever, the money's coming in, things are going good. I do feel like some of you are stuck in a lack mindset. Excuse me, a lack mindset. So you're not being honest with yourself that you're really not putting any effort into generating more income, or any solutions that might come up. You may not be, willing to put in the effort or value the skills that you do have and step outside of your box. So I feel like, one, it's getting honest with yourself, digging deep at where you're blocking yourself from moving forward and generating more income. Also, where you're not valuing your skills and your efforts, and, are kind of feeling down on yourself. I feel like you're recognizing this and you have the opportunity to shift this energy. I also feel like some of you may not be fairly compensated. So there may be, you're working for somebody who's like paying you pennies, and meanwhile, they haven't hired anybody else. You're the one that's getting all the work dumped on you. So again, you're speaking up, you're not feeling fairly compensated. And I feel like you either find the courage to talk to your current employer and say, hey, I've taken on all these responsibilities. You're not hiring anybody, but I could use the extra cash. I feel like I deserve a raise, inflation, everything else. So I feel like you guys are confronting that situation with your current employer. Some of you are just at your breaking point and you're like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to start looking for a new job. Now, there is a caution around those of you, because like we've got that obsessive and addictive energy as well. So some of you may be spending your money gambling, whether it's, scratch off tickets, lottery, or maybe there's some, apps, games that you're playing on your phone where you're constantly re-upping on getting coins, or, you're gambling online in some way. I feel like you got to let that go. You got to just stop that and use that money wisely. I do feel like some of you are, also figuring out how to invest. I feel like choose traditional safe investments right now, especially because the marketplace is pretty volatile. I feel like look outside of the normal way of saving and having money. I mentioned earlier that I just feel like there's going to be some form of, I feel like the housing market's going to crash. I feel foreclosures coming. I feel inflation's going to continue to happen. So we're in for a bit of rough times, but as long as you focus your energy on the solutions, you won't get sucked into the negative aspects of this, right? Like you can work through this and overcome it. So this week, look at how you have your relationship with money and what you're spending it on, and shift your perspective on things. In the area of health, I feel like some of you are dealing with health problems that are directly connected to you neglecting your emotional issues. You're manifesting physical illnesses because you're not dealing with your emotions, and you're suppressing them, you're holding them in. So it's going to show up in different forms of disease. Whether it's, do you feel like you need attention? Do you feel like you're fear-based? Do you feel, insecure? Are you angry? Are you sad? Like all these things need to be looked at. There's some forgiveness work that needs to happen. And, I just feel like this is where the inner work comes into play this week. I feel like some of you are going to the doctor and the doctor's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. Like we can't find any issues, but you feel like there's something wrong with you. And this is directly tied to your mental and emotional situations. So look at that, really look at that. Like, you hold the key to your health, you hold the key to your vitality, you have to advocate for your health. And sometimes the healthcare system and professionals aren't there to help you. They're not there for solutions. They're there to make money. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but sometimes that's the case. So don't, hesitate to find multiple, get follow-ups with other doctors or other, maybe even look into the holistic side of things, merge the two, but definitely do your own work. Either way, this week, I feel like it's more mental and emotional stuff that is causing your symptoms. Not saying, that whatever's going on with you is not real. More than likely it is, and you'll have to get whatever treatment you need, but you can help that treatment along by looking at your mental and emotional state. In the area of spirituality, I feel like some of you are just feeling burned out. You're just like, holy shit, I've literally been on the spiritual path forever. I'm feeling exhausted. I'm feeling like just bored with it. I feel like there's nothing that excites me anymore. And I feel like you need to really open yourself up, explore some different things. Some of you want to explore some different stuff, but you're too afraid to do it. You're worried about judgment and criticism. So, step off the beaten path and just do some research, try some new things, create your own energy and your own enthusiasm about things. Be upbeat, focus on what you want. And not what you don't want, because again, what you focus on grows. Okay, moving on. Week 2, May 9th through the 15th. Okay, this week the energy is super upbeat. This week I feel like a lot of you are going to see manifestations of the hard work that you've been doing. Whether it's, showing up in your career and your love, it feels like wishes being fulfilled, and it's not superficial wishes, right? It's not like, oh, I want a mansion and then that's what happens. I mean, it may happen for some of you because that's the path that you're on, but I feel like it's deeper than material items. I feel like it's more connected to your working life, your mental health, your emotional health, connections with other people and community and career, things like that. So there's a lot of positive energy here. If some of you aren't experiencing that this week, I do feel like you're at least tapping into the energy, like things are about to look up, like you're really getting more positive, you're shifting your perspective, and you're kind of making it a point to really stop and think about what it is you want in your life. What is it that you're trying to make happen? And really kind of looking at your dreams and your goals and how you can manifest them and what action steps that you can do. And those of you that actually take action steps in this week and really start working towards things, I feel like you're really going to be pleasantly surprised at how quickly what you're working towards actually comes about. Work. I feel like some of you are all of a sudden finding that you're feeling like deeply fulfilled at work. Like things are going great. You're just feeling passionate about what you're doing. You just feel fulfilled. I feel like there's loyalty. So you feel like you've got a lot of great coworkers, or if you have your own business, there's a lot of loyalty with your clientele. I just feel like there's, everything kind of just feels like it's where you've been wanting it to be and where you've expected it to be. If you are unemployed and looking for a job, I do feel like something is going to pop up for you sooner than later. And I feel like you're going to feel like drawn to this position, right? Like follow your intuition. Like I feel like your gut is going to be on point and you're going to get that synchronistic type energy that comes in. Like you're just, maybe you're like going online and you're looking at open positions and you kind of skim over a few, and then there's one that pops up and you're just like, I don't know if I would work for that. But then you can't get it out of your mind. And there was just something in it, in the verbiage that was like, oh my God, I need to be I need to follow through on this. So trust your gut. You're going to totally be feeling drawn to the position. Do not let your insecurities get in the way. Don't let, even if the ad says, oh, you need to have like 25 years experience or whatever, and you only have 15, apply. Do what you got to do, especially if you're feeling that pull. Like, I just feel like it's calling you in. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like that feeling, like you just got to go for it. So do it, do it, do it. Love. Those of you in committed relationships, I feel like things are going really well. Some of you are connecting on deeper levels. Maybe there's more intimacy. Maybe there's more sexy time. Maybe you're going out on more dates. Maybe you're just having great conversations and you're just feeling more lovey-dovey and in sync with each other. And it just feels like a great week in love. If you're single, I do feel like get out and mingle, make connections with people, have fun dating. For some of you, you are going to be calling in a meaningful relationship, someone that is on the same page with you. And I feel like there's a deep connection. It just, for some of you, I feel like you're going to meet this person and you're just going to know, and you're going to have that, I don't know, like deep conversations. Like you're talking about things that you normally never talk to anybody about on first dates. Now, for some of you, I feel like it could be a little bit of the opposite. I feel like there's a few of you that are going to go out on a couple of dates with someone, or, you know, you're going to meet someone and it's like you're attracted to them. There's something about them, but you're just not sure and you're questioning it. Go out with them again. Go out with them a few times, because I feel like you just have to dig a little bit deeper to have that aha moment. In the area of finances, financially, I feel like things are okay, but I do feel like the energy around finances this week is connected to balance. Know what's coming in, know what's going out. Have a happy, healthy relationship with money. Look at it from the perspective of energy. There's also a connection to being happy and fulfilled within your family, your friends, your community, the relationships in your life, because abundance goes beyond money. So I feel like that's how abundance is showing up this week. It's more about the relationships in your life. And I also do feel like I feel more money coming in. So I feel like there's some form of like moderate increase for many of you coming in, maybe over the next coming weeks. Maybe it is even this week. In the area of health, I feel like for the most part, everybody's feeling healthy. I feel like some of you are taking action steps to work on your health, whether it's diet, exercise, maybe doing a detox or some sort of a cleanse. I do feel like there's like a deeper connotation this week with everything. So I feel like you're digging deeper within your health and how you can support your health. And again, any kind of, like, it feels connected to mind, body, spirit type energy. So you're working on your mental state, you're working on your emotional state, you're working on your spiritual side of things, whether it's doing yoga and reading books about understanding yourself better, digging into the mind aspect, working on your physical body by, paying attention to what you're putting in it, on it, and including exercise. In the area of spirituality, again, there's just this feeling of looking beyond surface appearance of things. And I feel like there's a lot of synchronicities that are happening this week, and the universe and spirit is like trying to give you messages and guide you, whether it's through, animals popping up over and over again, or you're seeing, 444 and 1212 and all these different numbers that are popping up. Look them up. So I feel like, there's just a lot of beautiful synchronicities, and you've got to look deeper than what it is. Like, things are not a coincidence, okay? There's a divine meaning and purpose to everything. And if you dig deep, you'll find the answers to that. Okay. Week 3, May 16th through the 22nd. Okay. This week is where that one of the cards earlier in the monthly energy themes that was directly tied to karma. Okay. So this is the week where I feel like karmic things are happening, tied to cause and effect. All events and all people are connected. Now, some of you, I feel, are getting sucked into other people's karma. So you're having to potentially help someone that did, whatever action they took. Okay, so some of it feels tied to somebody for some of you, I feel like you're dealing with the law. I feel like somebody gets arrested, is going to jail, and you get sucked into that, whether you have to bail that person out of jail or you're helping them through their court situation. But it feels like whatever action they have taken. So for some, I feel like that it's a jail situation. I'm also picking up on just relationship stuff where you're getting sucked into somebody else's relationship drama and you're helping them cope with their emotions or, their self-sabotaging behavior. Some of it is tied to narcissists. So some of you are dealing with the actions of someone you care about, and it's going to feel difficult and demanding, and it's not something that came about out of your actions. Okay. So what you're being encouraged to learn here is what is your issue and what is somebody else's issue, and how are you over functioning, trying to fix and solve somebody else's problem and enabling bad behavior because they're not taking responsibility for their own actions. And maybe there's energy around you blaming yourself unnecessarily for things, or you're feeling guilty. So that's your motivation for helping. So it's really, and obviously if this is your child, you're going to help your child, but there's still some boundaries and things where I feel like some of you need to recognize where you're enabling people and you're over functioning and you're doing more harm than good. And you're also taking on the emotional burden that doesn't belong to you. Now, some of you, I feel like this is going to manifest in feelings of feeling like things are unfair, or, and maybe something is unfair in your life, but, you've got to shift your perspective, right? Instead of focusing on, oh, woe is me, pity party, life sucks, it's unfair, this is bullshit. Okay, have a couple of hours that, maybe even a day, but then pull yourself out of it and focus your energy on what you can do about it. What can you change? And part of that is accepting the situation, accepting reality for what it is, and then focusing on the solution and not the problem. In the area of work, some of this unfair stuff is showing up at work. Some of you are just, I feel like it's a combination. I feel like some of you are dealing with coworkers that are constantly creating drama and doing shit at work. And then you're the one that has to come in and pick up the slack. And you're the one busting your ass and solving all the problems. And you just feel like things are unfair, and, you're getting over it. And maybe you're really feeling emotionally triggered. And I feel like you have to be careful with that, because if you react in an emotional way, you're going to be the bad guy instead of the other person that's the bad guy. So again, you're getting sucked into somebody else's actions and karma. And this is where you need to set yourself apart from that and handle things in a new and different way. For some of you, this is showing up as a work-life imbalance. You may be spending way too much time at work and neglecting your home life, and because of that, there's issues happening at home. And I feel like you need to, when you leave work at home, and you come home and you put your energy into your family, your relationship, and yourself if you're single. So find the balance in that area. I do feel like I feel like some of you may want to just, with the emotional trigger with this, some of you may want to be like, I quit, like I'm out, fuck this, right? Don't do that. Slow down. This is a time for you to empower yourself and stop enabling bad behavior with others. And if you're the one that's the drama person and creating all the karmic stuff, it's time for you to recognize that and have those aha moments. Again, this month, things are going to be coming up for you to see and recognize and change. So, I feel like before you make any drastic decisions in the working area of your life, you first need to confront the way that you handle things and the way that you may, be letting people get away with stuff because you're afraid to speak up professionally and set boundaries for yourself. So this is the time to resolve that within yourself and then start looking for a job if you want to leave that situation. And also, be careful about confrontation because the energies are volatile. And like I said, if you have an emotional outburst and confront the situation, you're the bad guy, unfortunately, even though that may not be the reality of the situation. Because some of the employers that you work for, like, shit trickles down from the top, and if you stand above the rest, then you just maybe the person that's being taken advantage of, but also the one that gets beaten down because you do actually do a good job. Okay. In the area of love, okay, because it's like this karmic energy here, it's about recognizing what you're bringing into the relationship. So for those of you, I feel like this kind of applies to single and committed relationships. It's about looking at yourself. What actions are you taking? How do you feel about yourself? What are you attracting to you? What type of person? Are you attracting emotionally unavailable people? Are you attracting narcissists? Are you attracting cheaters? What are you attracting into your life, and what type of behaviors are you enabling? Are you over functioning? Like, are you doing and doing and doing and giving and giving and giving and not receiving in return because you don't know how to receive? So there's a lot of things that you need to take a look at. There's this unfair energy. So if you are in a committed relationship, this could be tied to that, the card where it says one of you is doing too many fucking chores. That could be you. Okay, you could be the one that's doing way too many chores and you feel like it's unfair, but you're not speaking up about it and you're not changing it. So, you've got to step outside of that and bring it up in a healthy manner. Or you could be the one that's taking advantage of your partner. You need to recognize that as well. You might be like, "Why? I don't understand why my relationship is falling apart, or we're not connected and we're disconnected." Well, are you the one that's slacking off in the relationship and not doing your part? Again, the truth is being revealed this month. These are the things that are coming up to be looked at. So how are you contributing to any current situation or current difficulties in your relationship? How is the other person contributing to it? Really looking at things from an unbiased, unconditional perspective and seeking to understand one another, and then focusing on solutions to move forward. This also, I kind of feel like, applies to those of you that find yourself trying to fit the mold of what you think your partner wants, right? So it's like they have an expectation of the way you should dress and the way you should speak and the way you should do things. So you're like, "Oh, let me do that." Or the person you're interested in is like, "Oh, I love, I don't know, I love this." And so you feel like you have to love this too. And even though you don't really like it and aren't interested in it. So it's kind of like, where are you, again, trying to change yourself and your own life to fit what this other person wants, because there's a part of you that is afraid of abandonment, or afraid that someone's not going to love you, or they're not going to accept you for who you are. This is where that unconditional thing comes in. And this is also an opportunity for you to develop stronger boundaries and, get a stronger sense of yourself and really know what a true loving and long-term relationship looks like, and that can come to you with you putting your energy into creating that. So like if that's what you want, but then you keep allowing cheaters in your life, well, you're never going to get what you want because you keep letting cheaters in your life instead of saying, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I want a relationship that reflects this, this, and this. Okay. All right. Finances. This week, I feel like there's just caution around money. So I really feel like you need to be careful with what you're spending, paying attention to, again, what's going out, what's coming in, but really what's going out. I also feel like there's a caution around people having access to your money. So maybe you're leaving your purse sitting around and you've got a teenager that's digging up in your wallet and stealing a 20 here and there, or even a credit card. I feel like, you need to really pay attention to your cash, your bank accounts, your credit cards, who has access to them. I feel like, some of you may be waiting on some sort of financial questions, or maybe some of you have applied for loans, or maybe you're, working on a closing on a house. I feel like there's delays with that. So anything tied to some form of you waiting on financial answers or a financial situation connected to either an institution or other person, you may be waiting a little longer, and just be patient. In the area of health, this energy is all about you staying present in the moment and paying attention to balance in your life and practicing moderation. Remember, this addiction energy and obsession energy is coming in, so that will totally pull you out of balance. So everything in moderation. I do feel like it's a great week if you're struggling with those things to reach out to different types of healers, or, people experienced in the area that you're having difficulties, and just seeking some guidance. Spirituality. Again, there's kind of this unfairness, and I feel like there's some anger coming up, and you feeling like you're being mistreated by other people. Maybe even, I don't know, like maybe you're just having a tough time dealing with whatever life challenges you're facing right now. Maybe you're just, feeling disconnected from yourself. I feel like with this energy, you need to work on being centered and grounded, get outside in nature, walk barefoot on the beach. If you don't have access to the beach, walk barefoot in the grass, hug a tree, whatever, like just get out in nature. If you have some anger that's coming up, do some forgiveness work. Who do you need to forgive? Who are you angry with? 9 times out of 10, we're angry with ourselves. And I feel like some of this anger could be connected to being angry at yourself for, getting sucked into other people's dramas and trying to fix their problems and nothing changing. And meanwhile, you're wasting all your time enabling people that aren't doing the work for themselves. So I feel like writing is very cathartic. Write down the things that you are having problems with, and then, tear it up. I feel like increasing your compassion for yourself and the world around you, get connected in your community. All those things will help you shift that energy. Okay, last week, week 4, May 23rd through the 31st. Okay, this week is like a combination of energy, right? So there's a lot of energy around Gemini, which makes sense because I believe Gemini starts, I know it's sometime this month. I don't know exactly the dates, but so there's energy around Gemini and the twins. So I feel like the way this is showing up is kind of for different people in different ways. Some of it feels like smoke and mirrors. So like you're getting one side of a personality, but there's something deeper going on. So it could be I don't know, it just feels like smoke and mirrors. Maybe you are going to bump into some twins in some way. It just feels like different personalities, multiple personalities. Maybe you do end up connecting with a Gemini. This energy is also about partnerships. It's also about, um, duality itself, male, female, yin, yang, approach, avoidance. So I feel like there's energy coming up around, things deeper inside of you that where maybe you are a smoke and mirror, where you're projecting one thing out to the world, but internally, secretly, you're harboring other feelings and ill will. I also feel like some of you are hesitant about a situation. Again, you're kind of questioning things. Your heart's telling you one thing, your head's telling you another. There's energy around fear or love. From what space are you operating? There's energy around boundaries and morals and, kind of, I don't know, feeling out of balance. So in the area of work, I feel like you're looking at choices and decisions that you need to make. Feel like you're having a difficult time maybe analyzing all the available information to you to make the best decision. And again, there's that feeling of smoke and mirrors. So where something may initially look one way, but then it turns out to be another way. Which could show up in like maybe you think something is negative and then it turns out to be a positive, or it comes out, or you look at it first from a perspective of like, oh, this is a positive situation, and then it turns out to be negative. So practice discernment, really pay attention to what your intuition is telling you and what you're feeling. There is also a caution around mixing business with pleasure, more along the side of romance. So I could see some office romances happening, maybe some affairs happening. I feel like it's important that you really know what you're getting into when it comes to that. Are you prepared to lose your job if you get busted for fraternizing? Are you prepared to, potentially break up a relationship if you are having an affair? Is that the energy that you really want to be putting out there? Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to attract that later. And if you start off a relationship cheating, a lot of times, you're going to get cheated on because this matrix is set up like a mirror. So really consider those things and just know what's at stake. Mixing business with pleasure could also be office parties or, maybe socializing with people that you work with and just making sure there's a caution around this and, holding yourself, there's just a caution around it. All right. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. In the area of love, I feel like love is center stage this week in many different ways. As far as relationships, I feel like new relationships could totally come in here. You could be really happy about how romance is going for you or who you're meeting. You could be feeling glowing, like you might be glowing. People might be like, dang, you're like super happy, and you're happy because you met someone and you're just having this awesome connection with someone. You could be talking about forever. There could be engagements. There could be babies happening. There could be if you're in a committed relationship, there could be just a powerful rebonding of an old relationship. That could even be if you're single, maybe somebody old comes in that you've dated in the past or someone that you knew and you're reconnecting. No matter what, I feel like there's a lot of positive energy here, meeting families. There's just a lot of joy and love, and life will feel super blissful and wonderful. And those of you that are not experiencing that this week and instead are dealing with challenges, that is coming up for you to recognize you're not happy and something needs to change, and you're the one that has to change it. The power lies with you. So if you want this blissed out love type stuff, you got to make a change so that you can allow it into your life. And if you and your partner are stuck in an unhealthy pattern of existence, if the two of you can't work on it together to grow and reconnect, then maybe it's time to go your separate ways. In the area of finances, it's all love, love, love. So I kind of feel like money is not on the radar this week. For the most part, I feel like, I put you in the category of stable and ebb and flow. In the area of health, because this energy is about partnerships, I do feel like it's partnerships with whoever your healthcare provider is, whether it's a traditional doctor, nurse, if it's a healer or a holistic doctor or a naturopath, whatever your preference and choices in life, I feel like it's that relationship. And if any of you are facing challenges, I feel like you're getting a deeper understanding of your current health situation, your wellness. I feel like maybe you're doing some forgiveness work, making that body-mind connection and body-mind emotion connection, and how your mind and your emotions create your health. Like, we know scientifically, it's been proven on a basic level that your thoughts and your stress levels physically affect your body. So does everything else. Okay. So take a look at that. And you can look up, like, if you're having ankle issues or, spleen issues or, gallbladder issues, get up on Google and type in spiritual meaning of gallbladder issues, and it will tell you exactly what your mental and emotional issue is that's causing your health issue to manifest in that specific body part. Okay, spirituality. I feel like some of you are working with someone, maybe a mentor, or maybe you're working with a therapist, or maybe you're working with someone like myself to help, whether it's psychic readings, intuitive life coaching, helping you work through the mind aspect of things, through ascension. I feel like everybody's kind of working with someone on their spiritual journey. There's a caution around, blindly following people. Again, you need to practice discernment, question things. I have a lot of clients that come my way that have talked to other people like myself who are like, you've got a curse on you and you need to pay me $3,000 to get rid of the curse, or you've got this going on. And a lot of it is just scams and money-making schemes. So question everything, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut responses. Some of you, I feel like a mentor is about to come into your life. And, what comes to mind is when the student is ready, the teacher appears, that kind of a vibe and energy. Okay, guys, that covers the month of May 2022 for you. I hope that you enjoyed these messages. Please let me know what shows up and how it shows up. Please comment, like, share. It's a free way that you can help me to get myself out there. And I really want to hear what's going on in your lives. I love the feedback. I love to hear what's going on. Don't hesitate to share with me some information that you would like to hear. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that I do these for individuals. So if you're interested in receiving monthly guidance in this way, each month you'll be able to ask me specific questions that you want to know about, and then I'll give you the rundown of the energies playing, personal to you in your life, what you'll be dealing with in the month, what you'll be dealing with each week in all these different areas. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to this very long message. I hope that you guys have a great month, and I can't wait to hear all of your feedback. Thanks so much, and I will catch up with you next month. Bye.